Hey everybody, just thought I'd do a real quick video. I haven't done one in a while. My apologies. I've been kind of busy with some projects and getting things winterized, getting the greenhouse kind of winterized so it won't freeze this winter, because I did leave a bunch of ponds up in there to kind of experiment. Left some plants in there to see if they would survive, and also left about half of the muck guppies in the 150-gallon pond, or tub. So we'll see how that goes. Kind of an experiment, but I also wanted to give them the best shot of survival, so I got to do some work on the greenhouse to make it hold heat a little bit better, including going to set up kind of an experimental compost pile to help heat it, and a few other things. So those will be upcoming videos, somewhat fish related, I guess, because that's what I've got out in the greenhouse. So you might be interested in that. Leave some comments on maybe some things you'd like to see about it. I'm going to also work on some of the solar stuff out there in the spring. So I'll be doing some experimenting inside this winter, which I may show you. But anyway, tonight it's about giving you a quick update on the kids' Aquascape contest tanks, and it's been about almost a year ago that they set those up, and I just kind of wanted to show you that they're still up and working and actually doing quite well. And they're kind of a minimalistic tank. They're not real sophisticated, and they're using different lights, which I'll talk about, and how well or not so well that maybe those did for us. But you also kind of see the difference when I show you the tanks. We tested probably, I don't know, must have been 8 or 9 different lights off of Amazon and eBay, just to see what cheap lights and what they would do for us in these small tanks. I didn't want to go out and spend, $100 for the kids' tanks. Not that they're not worth it, but anyway, that just kind of wanted to see what that is out there for less expensive lights, but good lights for doing what we wanted to do and growing the plants that we wanted to grow in these unsophisticated tanks, inexpensive tanks. So without further ado, I'm kind of zoomed in here. I've got my macro lens on here, so I think it's 28 millimeters. It's a little closer than I like, but anyway, no help for it, because when I turn it around, I want to maybe zoom in here for you and get some close-ups with the macro. It's kind of late, like most of my videos. It's after a long work day, and then I come down here and what my wife calls piddle farting in the fish room until late, and so that's how I get my relaxation done after the day's work. And with the days getting the light outside getting shorter, I'm in here a little bit more. So anyway, without further ado, I'll just flip you around and show you the tanks. All right, so hopefully that did not mess up the audio. So this first tank, I'm going to back up here a little bit. I'm kind of at an odd angle. Is Kian's tank, and so this one, he's still got one of his half beaks, his platinum half beaks. The other one, unfortunately, didn't die because of the setup of it. Well, anything that we did in this tank, or lack thereof, it actually got sucked up into that little air-operated filter and died in there, which was surprising. I didn't think that thing had that much suction, but it evidently did. But he still has his pair of, I believe those are exclamation point tetras, and the male, you can see there, is quite colored up. We'll see if I can get in there without scaring him. But yeah, they've been, I'm sure if we tried, we would probably get some eggs and be able to raise some babies. That's one of the things that we want to try with these. I don't know if you can see them up top there. Yeah, there's the half beak up there. and begging for food. And I just trimmed the plant. The plant was actually all over there. You couldn't hardly see anything. It had grown all over the place. So I cut it back and put a weight on it so it looks more like a bush. Also kind of with the idea hopefully that maybe they would throw some eggs over there on it, and I just take that out and put it in a different tank and see what hatched. That's his crazy tank with, he had to have that, I'm not even sure what that thing is over here, but he had to have it. So there's that one after about a year. If you notice, there's no heater in there. It's just room temperature, which is about 76 degrees in down here in the basement. And I think the lowest I've ever seen it get was maybe 75 when we had the AC on running real hard during the summer. But yeah, it's doing quite well. Everybody seems happy, healthy. Now right next to it, sorry for the glare, see if I can get rid of the glare. Now this one is Michael's. Now I did not get a chance yet to trim these plants or anything. I figured I'd better get the video out while I can, while I have the focus to do that. But this is Michael's tank. He did quite a nice job of aquascaping it for his first time, and it's still the same. We haven't really moved anything around. The plants are doing much better in here, at least the variety of plants, because of the light. And this one was on, I think we got it for, I want to say 38 bucks on Amazon. And they have a Bluetooth version too. And it comes with different lenses to disperse the light. And it's actually, I'm pretty impressed with it for the dollar that it cost. It does a really good job, and it grows pretty much anything that I stick in there, but mostly right now I've got some crypts and some Rotala, different kinds of Rotala. I do have a Ludwigia Super Red in there, which is growing. And we haven't tried anything like ground cover or something with the really small leaves that, you know, you need really high light or something. And we might try some of that and just throw it in there and see if it survives. But this one we do have the heater on. It's just a little Aqueon little nano heater. And then we're also running the air filter, the air-driven filter in here. And there's a few more fish in this one. He's got a couple of strawberry tetras and a couple other kinds of tetras. I forget which ones they are, but they're kind of, you can kind of see them back there toward underneath the growth. They get a little spooked, but they're also quite happy in there. He also had a pair of half-beaks when we started, and both of them got sucked up into his filter and died before we could figure out what to do. And I ended up putting, if you look down there, you can kind of see it in the back, put a chunk of foam over the, oh, that's not it. Oh, there goes the timers on the lights. Anyway, a chunk of foam over the intake of that filter, and that solved the problem. But yeah, very, very happy with the progress on these tanks. So we're going to see if we can breed some of the fish in there. We haven't had a chance to really do that. We've been working on other tanks, and I've been trying to get them cleaned up enough to do a fish room tour. And every time I get an area clean, something happens. I'm running over there to try and, you know, fix another area. And then by the time I get back to it, you know, the front glass or something is overgrown with algae or something crazy, or I got some other thing going on that I don't want to film. So I think I'm just going to probably do the best I can, pick up things around here, because I'm experimenting, doing all kinds of things. So I've got, I mean, if you look over here in front of my big stand, I've got quarantine tank, I've got a couple Daphnia cultures, I've got some moss that I'm growing, DIY CO2 generator, and then from one of my 40 breeder that has all plants, the other night, it was way overgrown. It's got CO2, and there's all these plants. I mean, these are 3-gallon buckets, and they're just packed full of plants that I cut out of there. So I gotta, before they all melt and get fall apart, I need to pull them out and at least get 20 or something clumps of plants to put in some of my other tanks. But it grows so fast, I could probably honestly just chuck this. But I hate throwing plants away. I need to get a website up so I can sell some of them and help fund the fish room, but we're just not quite there yet. Michael keeps trying to get me to do that, and it's like, with everything else going on, it's crazy. But here's a perfect example right here. This tank was crystal clear, and this is a low iron glass 17 cube. I think it's a Aquatop or something like that. Anyway, it was just overgrown with duckweed, and I cleared the duckweed out, and I was going to clean this area up and film, like I said. And next day I come back, and here's a bacterial bloom. So now I got to wait for that to clear because it just looks hideous. But it's got my blue dream shrimp in here that are extremely dark. And you can't even see them, which is terrible. Anyway, that's it, guys. I'll leave it with this and kind of a teaser, I guess, for the fish room update that I'm trying to do. Like I said, I'll probably just quit trying to make everything look so perfect and just film it, because really everything's a work in progress, and I kind of rotate around the tanks and clean them and rescape them or whatever, and then move on to the next one. And then by the time I get through the fish room, I'm ready to start over again and do the same thing. So this is a living hobby, so it's not going to stay stagnant. What may look beautiful one day, the next week is overgrown and kind of looks like this. So then you got to do some work to make it attractive again. Otherwise it will look like the tank that I just pulled all those plants on. You can't even see the fish in there, can't even see the bottom or an inch into the tank. Such is the hobby. Anyway, let everybody go. Have a great evening. Stay safe.